everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Tsounts, and I'm terribly sorry because I'm probably mispronouncing that. Now, he is in the Thunderer, a tier 10 British battleship. He is on map Okinawa in a 3-point domination game. It's a pure tier 10 battle. There is a carrier, but at least there's only one destroyer, so not too many torpedoes to torch, I presume. And there is also a broadside Hindenburg, so this could be lovely. And there is a citadel.
All stations requesting fire support.
So our Thunderer has decided to go towards the sea cap. He spawned here pretty much in the center, and his division mate in the Holland is trying to grab B. Of course, there is the issue of a Petrol on the other side of this island. Now, Petrol's radar is relatively short, and it should be easy enough, I guess, to survive the Petrol radar and then go in and cap afterwards, but it looks like he has decided to grab C instead. And then probably come back and try B later on. So far, no sightings of the enemy destroyer.
Fire.
But what we can see is a Shikishima that is somewhat broadside. Now he's switching back to high explosive here.
All stations requesting fire support.
And, well, the Thunderer is a ship that has pretty strong high explosive and pretty strong armor piercing, so using the right ammunition for the job is definitely what you wanna do. And look at that, there are torpedoes coming, so I presume, yeah, the Shima is spotted by now. And he decided not to go for the Hindenburg there. He's also keeping an eye out on those torps. It looks like he's trying to burn the Shikishima. I think I would have tried the Hindenburg because it's slow. I mean, of course, a maneuvering cruiser is harder to hit than a battleship, but if they could finish off this Hindenburg, it would be rather beneficial. Now I fire on the Shikishima. That's obviously lovely. Although it's not damage count just yet. Meanwhile, now his armor piercing loaded again. There is not a nice shot at the Petrol. Could still go for the Hindenburg here. And he's even communicating with his team, like he tells them that he has set a fire and that it's been repaired. Which could be useful information for other high explosive spammers here, although if they are using that information remains to be seen. Now we have the Holland taking this cap, so the Shimakaze has not there to stop that. We have a friendly Kremlin that's a little bit on the too aggressive side, although like he's behind this island. If I were that Kremlin, I would definitely try to stick close to that. Because if he goes forward here, he's probably going to get torped, and this island protects him from all the north. So it's not the worst place to be, I suppose. Meanwhile, the Shikishima is slowly getting burned, and our Thunderer is trying to keep at a reasonable distance to not eat all the torps in the world. Oh, and there is another fire. Yeah, I think this Shikishima is pretty much done for. But there is a Richthofen coming. Now, what you do when a Richthofen comes for you is you hope that it attacks somebody else. That's your best defense. Just hope somebody else is the target. Down goes the Kremlin. That's a bit of a shame, but the enemy team just lost their only destroyer, and in a domination game, that's pretty significant. Now the Holland, for example, can just go grab B. There is a Petro at B, but like surviving the 50-second radar should be no issue, and afterwards it's on cooldown and he can cap. Especially on this side of the map, there aren't too many enemies. The Petro itself might not even be able to engage.
Fire.
Now, meanwhile, our Thunderer here is in concealment again, and he is pushing forward. Now there is a booster behind this island still. If he can get close enough, then he can do a lot of damage to the... I mean, booster isn't the best ship to kite in open waters, but it would be much harder to take down the booster if it's running away than if it's just sitting here. If he can, like, ambush that booster,
Problem solved, sir.
certainly be lovely. Now he could also be shooting at the Hindenburg right now, but that would give his approach here away. And it looks like he just wants to get a bit closer first. Now the friendlies are the only one who have a cap. We are equal on ships, so there is nothing too concerning right now.
Roger.
Now, meanwhile, our Thunderer is in concealment again, and he is pushing forward. Now there is a booster behind this island still. If he can get close enough, then he can do a lot of damage to the booster.
I need your support.
Now the Friendlies are the only one who have a cap. We are equal on ships, so there is nothing too concerning right now. And now he's asking his division mate to do some spotting there. The thing is, I'm not sure if he can get the Alan can't go like between those camps. He would be too deep inside the radar, and I don't think he can get a good vision on the booster without exposing himself much to the radars. But the carrier can do the spotting, and I mean the booster has left cover anyway. But overall, this worked very well. Basically, the booster came out here. It was full broadside. He got Citadel in. Now, of course, the slight issue now is that tsounts here is a little bit in a crossfire between those ships in the north and this Thunderer. Now, the ships in the north are not that close, so there is that. Meanwhile, the Holland is going for B, which I approve of. How to do this? The Thunderer is pretty angled and it's pretty healthy. The Hindenburg might be a much better target of opportunity, especially... Oh, it's turning broadside and he has armor piercing loaded. So he's waiting for him to fully be broadside, shells are in the air.
All stations,
and he's sticking with armor piercing. Oh yes, that's what we wanted to see. Now next salvo, or somebody else can finish off this Hindenburg. This Hindenburg really needs to go. Oh, it's healing again.
All stations requesting fire support.
Shells out. I think I would have gone back to high explosive here. I mean, armor piercing has a chance to do a lot against this Hindenburg, even angled, I guess. But the high explosive is just really disgusting and really good.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
So it looks like the Hindenburg might be escaping here, which would just be a shame. There is another Hindenburg, by the way, that is broadside. Now armor piercing is obviously going to be very nice there. And there goes the Hindenburg. Now, he's using Cunningham, so achieving 2 kills just gives him, I think, it's 1 more consumable. And having 1 more heal is always going to come in handy in the long run. The teams are still equal on ships, and I'm pretty, like, what's kind of confusing me is that this Thunderer isn't really... I mean, okay, there are other ships around here. I would have expected the Thunderer to shoot the other Thunderer, I guess. But, you know, I mean, tsounts has always been distracted by all those juicy little cruisers there in the north that were just so much better targets. But maybe it's finally time to just clean up that Thunderer before pushing north. And yet there is the fire we've all been craving. Now B, unfortunately A has fallen into enemy hands and B has never quite been taken. The problem of course is there's a Hindenburg now inside. While the Holland can easily dodge the Petro radar, the Hindenburg, a Hindenburg inside the cap with a 6 kilometer hydro is quite a bit more difficult to deal with.
Protect that target.
Once again, choices. He could from here shoot the Hindenburg, but he really needs to take care of this Thunderer at some point, so he's just trying to push in till Thunderer goes down. The Hindenburg is getting low. I mean, I wouldn't mind if he also gave it a salvo, but who is actually shooting this Hindenburg? Salem most likely is. The Montana might. Also, I like tsounts is already like turning more towards the north. It requires his turrets to turn, but he has to think about getting back towards the north once this Thunderer is dealt with, and he is rightfully so pretty confident that he will prevail against the enemy Thunderer, who is just, you know, surfing that zone wall. There we go, finally that threat is dealt with. So now he can, like, he could never really have gone full north with the threat to his broadside, but now there is no concern any longer. The Hindenburg in the center also has been dealt with, but the friendlies have lost the Salem. And well, now I guess it's time to join the fight for B. The Republic is getting pretty low there. Well, it looks like the Richthofen is coming in here. He has his anti-air focused on the right side. He has his defensive fire going. The Richthofen squadron was barely alive. And obviously it still managed to drop because it's just how it is.
The enemy battleship destroyed.
Now, ship-wise, both teams are equal. There is... Petro is angling, but you know, I mean, it's high explosive loaded. And the good thing about Thunderer high explosive, it hits like a truck and still sets you on fire, so...
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal.
Unfortunately, though, those shells missed.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
Now, the Montana is outside of his range, unfortunately, so he can't help focus that down. Well, this Montana, he can shoot the other Montana. He has probably decided to go for the Montana instead of the Petro because the Montana is not really engaged in any evasive maneuvers. So it's an easy target to burn down. Now, meanwhile, the friendly team is doing a good job at the other Montana. Ah, the Richthofen is back with some dive bombers. It's going for a Montana. So how healthy will that Montana look now? The fire wasn't even that devastating, I guess. These days you have to count yourself lucky if you only lose like 10-20k when a carrier attacks you.
Thank you.
Also, by the way, he has meanwhile achieved a Confederate and a high caliber. You don't see achievements pop up here anymore in the replays. You still see them when you actually play the battles, but for whatever reason, Wargaming has removed it. But in the chat, you still see when people get achievements. Now, tsounts here is a little bit too broadside to that Montana, but he's probably realized that because he's already turning. There are shells incoming. Yeah, but he didn't quite manage the turn, but it wasn't that problematic in the end. Now he's using his last heal thanks to Cunningham, otherwise he would have already been out. The biggest issue right now, I think, is that Petros can hurt a lot. Oh, and there is the next talent from Cunningham activating because he achieved the Witherer, so now I think he gets 10% better reload. And, well, we all love to have 10% better reload, don't we? Now, the friendlies are currently one ship ahead. This Montana is going down, and looks like the Petro didn't get a good hit here. There we go, now he can focus more on the Petro. Although it looks like the Petro isn't actually shooting him, the Petro is shooting the Montana, so... that's good news, I suppose.
5 minutes.
Also, at this point there are only 2 ships remaining, so I feel confident in predicting that tsounts team here is going to win. But yeah, just got chunked a little bit by the Petro. Showing this much broadside to a Petro is very risky. I would have probably gone with the nose towards the Petro at this point. But then again, if you are pretty confident in your victory, you might just wanna do maximum damage. And I guess there is the fact that the Petro is mostly focusing the Montana. Now, the way tsounts here is sailing, I expect that maybe he wanted to help with his anti-air with the other Thunderer, and it's also possible that he wants to go around the islands to engage the Richthofen after the Petro has been dealt with. So I guess the main reason he wasn't charging towards the Petro is because he decided he could use his anti-air better, maybe even pool his anti-air with the Thunderer, and he has the ability to go around here But of course, I guess he could have gone north, a little bit closer to Petro, and then through this channel.
Are on normal alert.
And, well, the Petro is gone. Now it just leaves the Richthofen. And what I think we can slightly increase the speed here. While he's making his way around the island. He's already gotten 5 kills so far. Can he make it 6? We shall see. There is his salvo, and well, it's a fire, but you know, fires are not that efficient against carriers, unfortunately. And there is the win. So, tsounts on himself 3,510 base experience. Very nicely done. Very nicely done. He achieved a Confederate fireproof, I think, a Dreadnought, Kraken, a Witherer, and a High Caliber, scoring 321,000 points of damage. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you next time.